new release party continues.
Don't it sound so good to you?
Live on Hip Hop Nation.
Yeah. Datwon Thomas back up in here. Hip Hop Nation, what's going on? Studio audience, what up, y'all? What up? Give it up for my man Torae and his new album entitled. What's going on?
Good, Dave. I'm good, man. Good to see you. What up, Sus?
Sus
Feature
One is
presentation is here.
There
you know what I
he
mean?
is.
Make sure you catch him tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Hip Hop Nation.
He's very dapper in his blazer. Over there, you see my man. He's over here chilling. But yeah, man, what were you going through when you were putting together the album? As far as like, I want to make a comprehensive disc, but at the same time, I know I have fans that I have to, I have to cater to. You know what I mean? I mean,
part of what I do is I stick to the script of who Torae is and what I feel is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like when I listen to any of my music, I'm like, all right, separate yourself from this whole scenario. Would you buy this? Do you like this? Would you rock to this? Is this something dope you would tell your mans about? And that's how I gauge things. And of course, I have my people around me that give me their opinion on, nah, that's not it, that's the way it go, blah blah blah. But for me in this particular project, like I said, man, it just came about in such a non-traditional way for me, because I never went into the album, or I never went into a previous project without knowing I was getting into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't on the mindset of, I'm going to make an album. I wasn't thinking album. I was thinking maybe every once in a while I drop a single, every quarter or something, put a record out, kind of stay in the eyes and ears of the audience, but not so much focus on dropping an album, because for me, I put a year time into doing the album. I'm very selective with the beats, and then it's really sitting down and penning something, and then it's going back and maybe re-recording or scrapping and mixing and mastering it. Once you get through all of that, that's about a year you put in before the album comes out. And for people to get it and listen to it and love it for 2 months, and then be, when the next joint dropping, I'm like, dog, like you gotta sit with this, you gotta absorb this, B. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I was a little I was probably just a little turned off from the whole album making process. But again, that's the beauty of having other outlets, with hosting events and covering red carpet events and having to show up here on Sirius.
You have a whole nother life.
Do a lot of
like you have a whole nother life now, man. Like a couple of years ago, we had a meeting. We talked about like next moves and all of that stuff. Did you ever think that this would be it?
I didn't think it wasn't. I didn't know what to expect. I knew that I wanted to contribute as much as I could to the culture. And if that was me being an MC, then I was going to do that. If that was me, turning my hat around and sitting on the other side of the interview, I could do that as well. If that was me standing on stage and bringing out some of my favorite artists the way I would want to be brought out on stage, I could do that as well. If it turns into doing television and movies, I could do that as well. So it was always about me just being a active participant in this culture and trying to give it as much as I could.
What was that learning curve like, though? Like as far as like you going from being the artist into actually sitting down and interviewing everybody and getting different kind of feedback. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of it stemmed from me doing so much of it, being on the interviewee side so much that I knew how to approach it from the other side, because I've been in numerous interviews where they were not prepared, they didn't know about me, they didn't know about the project, and I'm like, well, what am I doing here? Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, do your research, know what we're doing. So that was one aspect of it. Another thing is that because I go to the studio, I'm in there late night, I'm on tour, you know what I'm saying? I'm traveling, I know what that grind is like. I know what opening a magazine and waiting for your review is like. I know what the feedback the first time somebody hear your joint is like. So I can also understand that energy from an artist. And so
it's way different than a journalist asking.
It makes the conversation so much more relatable, because it's real easy. I'm like, dog, like I just came off tour, I feel you.
Real natural. Like the interviews are real natural. Like
and that was why, I also used to listen to the radio, and coming up in New York City, I was raised by Angie Martinez or something like that. So who
had like the dope shows back then, man? Because I just saw the Bobito joint, the Bobito and
radio, Exchange Radio.
Exactly.
I used to listen to Stretch and Bob. You know what I'm saying? Tape off the radio heavy. Like I said, listening to Angie Martinez, some of those very, very early instrumental interviews. I don't know if we shouted out Ralph McDaniels, but Video Music Box. You know what I'm saying? Like, or because I didn't have cable. cable. Like I would have to go to my man crib.
Right.
He had cable. He had 2 parents. He was living way different than me.
He had Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, he was living good. You know what I mean? Cereal had colors and characters on it. My shit had the white box.
The Pathmark joints.
Yeah, heavy. But you know, I would watch, you know, like Rap City with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Or The Basement. You know what I'm saying? Like with Big Tigger or Chris Thomas. So just like all of that shit. Like when you love it, Day, and you understand it.
All day.
When you love it, you soak that in, like every bit of it. You love it. You want to be. My mother used to be like, yo, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is turn on the radio before you brush your teeth, before you piss, anything. She was like, you ain't gonna be able to work nowhere where you can turn the radio on as soon as you get up. Wrong.
Look at me now, ma. Look at me now.
You know, because that very traditional. You know, my mother to death. She wanted the best for me, but she didn't understand what I had planned for me. You know, it wasn't about a mundane wake up 9 to 5, do this tradition. Like, nah, I'm not doing that.
So what is it like for your own kids? Because you're a dad of 2, a daughter and a son. What is it like for them to see what's happening? Because I'm sure you're not giving them that same speech.
Nah, I don't. The beauty of it is that they do have a father parent who understands the creative part. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that drive, that passion. So do I want them to go to college and excel and do all that they can and be all that they can be? Absolutely. At the same time, I'm not going to shove it down their throat. My daughter's looking at me. You going to college. But I'm not going to force it down her throat. Like, yo, if you wake up one day and you like, yo, I want to XYZ, you got 100% of my support because I understand that. I remember I was on tour. I was in Canada and I was so hype. I was on tour. We was doing shows and I logged on to my computer and I emailed my mom and I was like, yo, mom, I'm out here and we're having a great time. And she was like, yeah, when you get back? And I was like, yo, I get back, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, that's cool because that's when the firefighter test is out and you can take that.
Wow.
And I was like, you just not there yet. You know, and it's flipped and I don't want to front on my mom. Like, she's the number one supporter, biggest fan.
But she wants you to have the security.
Right,
she don't want you to feel
you got to understand that when I was born, hip hop was born in that same space. Yeah. And so
they looking at it like disco.
Right. She like, yo, dog, you can't have a career in something that wasn't here when I was a kid. How is that possible?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna take care of yourself?
It's always work at the post office.
It wasn't until a lot of the social media and a lot of visibility started to happen that she fully understood it. Now she come to the in-stores and try to buy all the CDs. I'm like, yo, get out of here, B. But you know, so it took that portion of time where she had to really understand that it was something for real. Like, this is a real career, real business. And so, you know, my kids won't have that hurdle. But I do want them to. I don't want them to go through the shit I went through. Right. Because I know how this business is. I know how fickle it is. I know how terrible some of the people are. Not the people in this room, but other people. Of course not. You know what I'm saying?
Not the people listening.
Of course, we want the best for our kids. That's what we're here for, is to protect and provide for them at all means. You know what I'm saying? By any means necessary.
Is that one of the reasons why you have your own company? So you don't have to deal with a lot of the politics because you have internal affairs as your label itself.
I knew early on that I wanted my own company. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was in school or was in college, I was a business administration major. Oh, wow. So it was always like, yo, listen, it's the music business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you got the music part. You can rhyme. You can go to the studio. You can dance and diddy bop and all that. Business. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn the business. Learn enough that when you start to make money in music, you understand how to handle your business. And so, you know, shout out to my man Sil, who took me to get incorporated very early on and trademarked my name very early on and stuff I didn't know about. You know, he definitely showed me the ropes as far as making sure I got in there and I treated it like a business early on.
What's crazy is that Freddie Gibbs, another independent artist,
shout out to Gangsta Gibbs.
Yes, indeed. He was like, people don't realize how much work goes into it behind the scenes, as far as like he's picking up the director, he's going over the edits, he's making sure like all the receipts are there. He's like, yo, it's the stuff that you don't think about. And remember, he'll shoot you too. So it's like all those different things that have to go into the plan that you're doing as your own, entity.
Absolutely.
Do you see yourself keeping it the way that it is right now, or are you looking for a bigger partner in that?
I mean, the plan is always to grow and build. It's just how you go about doing it. You know, if I could get with another company, a bigger company that I could partner up with, and a real partnership, not an imprint, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Take this money, go sit down somewhere. No, I really want to partner up and collaborate on ideas and figure out how we can take this to the next level.
Right.
If that presents itself, then I'm all for it.
But they got to get you now, man. You on VH1, man. They got to come talk to you right now.
Yeah, listen, hit me up, man. At Torae on Twitter, on Instagram. Shoot me that DM. And yeah, man. So if it presents itself in the right way, then I'm all for it. I'm definitely not opposed to it. But at the same time, I've seen other artists try to do it and not work out. And I've seen, people get with companies that didn't make sense, and you looked at it and it fell
like,
through,
right.
and you're like, you should have never did that.
Yeah.
So I've been blessed to be here 10 years doing what I love, and I ain't fall on my face yet. So I'm gonna stick to the script until something needs to change.
That's what's up, man. So what we doing, man? We're gonna rock out.
I think we should do that performance.
Yeah,
It's a performance?
What you think?
We're gonna have to make him work today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we got to get 3 joints in, and I need a freestyle. You already know.
Oh, these guys got me
there you
working
go.
today.